Hey guys, I'm just hanging by the ship at West Edmonton Mall. We got a huge trade to break down. Quinn Hughes off to the Minnesota Wild in an absolute blockbuster. We're talking about probably the second best defenseman on earth, and if not for some Calgarian called Cale Makar, maybe the best one on the planet. A monster deal that sees the Minnesota Wild push chips in the Central Division that's already got arguably the two best teams in the West to this point of the year. The Avalanche are an absolute wagon. Dallas has looked very good and been to the conference finals recently. Now Minnesota chips in, adds a mega stud left shot defenseman. How did they get him? Well, the Canucks off to a rough start this year. Canucks dealing with injuries. Canucks frankly not that good. The Canucks get a haul back, and I mean a haul. 3 players and a first rounder coming back to Vancouver in this deal. And well, if they're going to be bad for a bit, they got some players coming all of a sudden really quickly. In fact, some players that are already producing right now. Marco Rossi's part of the deal, as is Zeev Buium, who was drafted in the Zane Parekh draft year. Also Liam Öhgren, who's 21 years old, was a point per game in the American League last year with Iowa. That's a winger that could provide some offense for the Vancouver Canucks. The center is key. Marco Rossi is a center. They had a contractual stalemate this summer that ended on a bridge deal, not a long-term deal, but he is a center, and he's played some big minutes for them in the regular season. They dropped those minutes for him in the playoffs last year, did the Wild. Vancouver's going to play the S out of this guy because they need centers badly. Pettersson will come back. He'll slide into that 2C hole, and then when Philip Heedle's back, now they've got center depth. That's something they absolutely needed in a big way. Zeev Buium is going to be an electric top-pair defenseman for like a decade. A monster pickup for Vancouver to get him because they're opening up a pretty big hole on their blue line. Buium played, I believe, at DU for a couple of years and then went right ahead of, or after Zane Parekh in that 2024 draft class. So, and a pretty impressive haul. And they get the first rounder from Minnesota as well. So the Wild will hope to make that a really late pick with a long playoff run. But all of a sudden, the Vancouver Canucks, multiple first-rounders, their own, plus Minnesota's, 3 good players that could step in today and play for the Canucks. Central gets better. Vancouver, interestingly, like it's kind of a futures deal, but all 3 of these guys may as well be on the roster the moment that this trade is done. Like, it's not a straight futures deal. It keeps Vancouver relevant now in the sense that, like, these guys are roster players already, and they're heading into their primes, all 3 of them. Öhgren, Rossi, and Buium. It's an impressive trade. We don't see top 5, top 10 players in the NHL move very often. A huge, huge swap between Minnesota and Vancouver. And for Quinn Hughes and the Minnesota Wild, can they get an extension done? That's the next sort of spin-off of this. Okay, you got the player. You've got this year and next year at low money. And then here's the thing. The rules on extensions change September 25th. July 1, they can offer an 8-year deal. No one else can do that. If he waits all the way to free agency, max term is 6 years if he's going to change teams. Whoa. Also, signing bonus money. That got cracked down on the last CBA. You can still sign them with crazy signing bonus money, which allows them to avoid a little tax, get more money sooner. The Minnesota Wild are going to back up the Brinks truck and use the tools in their toolkit. 8 years, signing bonus money, and hopefully a contending team to try to keep them in the state of hockey. Your move, New Jersey Devils. Fascinating deal, a blockbuster. Back to the ship at the mall. See you, buddies.
Hey, buddies. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.